Testing. Okay, now you should be able to hear me. Good God. It's been a while since I've streamed. Testing, testing. Yay! I'm being heard. I'm being observed. I can scientifically say that I exist. So, I was just saying that I put up a scrolling list of the small amount of content warnings, and I encourage everyone to go to the website for the game, which I am linking in chat right now, to check out the full list. And of course, read it before playing. Content warnings: lots, knife play, sexual assault mentioned, depression talk, suicide talk, neglectful trans healthcare system, profanity, slurs reclaimed, slurs unreclaimed, nudity. Oh, if we get that today, Twitch is going to have a fun time. Sexual content may be considered dubious by some. A character whose entire personality is just straight up doing transphobia at you. Miscellaneous or other transphobia. A chaser, biting in blood, drug mentions, pandemic jack, and some body horror. Weird and off-putting women. Oh, this is... So I have been tracking the development of this for a while, at least a year. And some of the writing is... It's just off the charts. I cannot wait. It's Disco Elysium made by a depressed trans woman, which is reductive, but I don't know if she's depressed. But that's definitely the vibe. Hello! But yes, this is, you will notice a very strong Disco Elysium vibe of weird, off-putting, and slightly depressing characters, which is one of my favorite genres. So, I guess just get right into it. Okay, we're getting some light sounds. Okay, now I was worried about this, that all the dialogue is going to be on the right. So let me rearrange. Okay, that's actually probably fine. Actually, let's do it live. Move my window capture over just a little bit. Okay. Colors. You can tell that it's British because it has a U in it. Continue. So many of them. Colors you recognize. Colors entirely new. A life of gray and black and brown burnt away, tumbling through the palette of an insane artist like a sheep falling through a bramble bush, glimpsing shades you can never and should never see again. Now, this is part of a universe, a shared universe. I'm going to rotate my... There I go. And I don't know how much of the lore transfers, but it is a anthropomorphic animal universe where the only sheep are always animals for eldritch reasons. So check out, which game mentioned that? I think it was in Testimony of Trixie Glimmer Smith, which trivia is why I made my avatar look the way she does, to fit in with the aesthetics of that game, and it just kind of transferred into 3D because I liked how it looked. Okay. There is nothing, no thought, no want. It's beautiful, majestic, unforgettable. It's painful, a gallery of tears you have never before had to shed, thoughts best left buried, heartbreaks and betrayals that you, hopefully, do not deserve. A smell, every smell, but one smell more than any. It's perfume, it's cigarette smoke, it's a distant nebula. Well, only one of those I know the smell of, so I'm going to say it's a distant nebula. The cacophony swells, never reaching its climax, never relenting. It goes on forever, louder, louder, louder. It's your children. It never ends. And then it does. Lovely Lady RPG, day one. The ones who watched you as you dozed. 4 days remain. Woo! Ooh, the vibes on this are so good. The colors shift, shimmer bright, a golden light. White feathers unfurled atop broken wood form a cushion. Not a cushion. Wings. You lay on them, soft, warm, and safe. It is over. Now that you really understand what it is. It, the sound of splintering wood and exploding roof tiles. It is a ringing so deep in your ears that the sound waves pass themselves in your skull, are inversed and become mute. It is the eventual death of color and light into a deep, cloying blackness. It is the occasional flash of a dying neuron, the occasional glimpse of a rotting memory, the endless feeling of time burnt into brickwork by radiation. It, as with everything, eventually begins to fade. It is your past shed like dead skin and your soul being reborn. Wake up. Alan, wake up. It has also destroyed your bedroom, apparently. The stars, fading into morning light, peer down through a hole in your ceiling. Raindrops land on the tip of your nose and run down your face into your mouth. The water's clean. Ooh. A melted roof tile falls through the gap and clatters along against the floor a few feet away from your dizzy little head. The floorboards around you are scorched. They groan under your weight. It is only through dumb luck that they have not collapsed and plunged you into the lower floor of the cottage. Whatever happened here was not survivable, surely. I'm dead, aren't I? I'm a ghost. Lovely art. Orb. I gotta come up with the voice of the orb. You are not dead. You are not quite who you used to be. Zoinks! The voice floats through your mind as though whispered directly into your brains. So, I'm not a ghost? Debatable. What happened to me? Who are you? Why can you hear my thoughts? Exactly an hour and 57 minutes ago, I crashed through your ceiling and embedded myself directly into your chest like a cannonball. Oh, that's good. That's great. Oh man, I love this portrait. It's very good. By all rights, you should be dead. But you aren't. Fortunately, your memories absorbed the impact and kept you alive. Unfortunately, they took the impact about as well as a priceless oil painting takes the impact of being bashed over someone's head. I'm really not sure how much of you is left in you. I can hear your thoughts because our brains have basically been mashed into one. I'm really confused. Sorry. Okay, I'll try to phrase this as nicely as I can. Whoever you used to be is gone. You, ghost, are just the dregs left at the bottom of the teacup. Have you ever seen a dead insect twitch its legs? That's you. A dead insect's leg twitch. That actually wasn't phrased very nicely at all. I feel that's a fair description of me. The choices are very good. There's a talk by David Gilbert that says that where he talks about making different choices and like being able to tell a joke, 4 different jokes just in dialogue choices. I feel that's a fair description of me. Some consider modesty a virtue. So if I've knocked the self-esteem out of you alongside your memories, I suppose you can thank me. Anyway, I think we've gotten a bit ahead of ourselves. Are you okay, ghost? Not really. No. Oh well. Oh. Well, it's nice to meet you regardless. I'm Orb. You're Orb. Yes, I'm Orb. Uh-huh. If you are curious about the specifics, I've spent the last 15 millennia hurtling through the cosmos as a complete story of creation, past, present, and future. So we're a trans woman, and now we've got gender affirming uniboob. Why? I don't know. I just was. Unfortunately, the one day I skipped class seems to be wherever I was taught steering. What? Could you simplify that for me? I'm like a library from space, but the books are from the future. It's the Acoustic Records. I just read Signal from Uzumaki. Oh, okay, I got it. Sounds normal. It is not, but I appreciate you not making a big deal out of it. There it is again, the smell of the cosmos. You feel a distant affinity to orb. Your chest twinges with pain. The impact still stings throughout your body. Your head feels like it was dunked in a big vat of gunk scientifically formulated to make women dizzy. Your muscles feel like they've had to do small to medium amount of physical labor for a day. A fate worse than death for a lady like you. Hey, gamer! The game is Lovely Lady RPG. And it is Disco Elysium for furries. If it makes you feel any better, colliding with you did something to me too. I never used to have an internal monologue, and I never used to speak. Now it won't shut up, and now I won't shut up. I used to know everything. Now I can't even remember what the exact date the Howling Child is going to be born. Not anywhere soon, I hope. Also, I keep wanting to... Oh, what's that thing called when the water comes out? You want to cry? You want to pee. Well, you want to pee. You pee, yes, maybe. You pee when you're sad, right? I pee when I'm sad. Yes. Actually, I think I'm thinking of crying. Ah, cry. Yes, that's right. Yeah, the dialogue is very big Disco Elysium. Gods, it hurts so much. How do you deal with it? I don't generally, I think. You get used to it. Why are you asking me? I don't remember anything. You don't, generally, I think. This is awful. I want to go back to not having feelings. Ugh. Ugh. Whatever. Let's not dwell. It's time for a damage assessment. Ghost, do you remember anything about your life? Try really hard to remember literally anything about your life. There's nothing tangible. Your past is buried somewhere in your mind fuzz. Glimpses of someone else through a fogged up window. Not quite you, so much as a you that you only ever watch from afar. An outside observer. Hello! A spectral force. Oh me oh my, I do not remember much. I remember looking at myself through a fogged up window. Are you sure you aren't confusing a metaphor and an eternal monologue for a memory? Oh yeah, maybe. Thank you for stopping by. Still, you remembered what a window is. That's something. Take a deep breath. Try again. Remember something. Anything. Take a deep breath and try really hard to remember literally anything about your life. It is pointless. There's no way to pierce this barrier. And as though it is wrapped in cobwebs. I'm trying to remember, but my mind is awfully frayed. I think my brain might be wrapped in cobwebs. Shake your head about and try to dislodge the spider. It isn't. You're doing it again. The metaphor thing, I mean, you need to stop this before you confuse yourself even more. Remembering is foolhardy. All there is now. Now, and the faintest feeling of golden light. Golden light and white feathers. The flame. The sword. It is understandable that you're having a trouble thinking. It's rather noisy in here, and we've both been through quite a shock. It doesn't seem that noisy. You're rather quiet, actually, like a bowling ball talking to me from the bottom of a well. Oh, that's a good voice direction. Right, so there's something we haven't discussed yet. In some other part of your mind, a perfumed corner stained with tea and oysterol vapor, another voice begins to whine. Lovely lady. Oh, she's awake. Benavir, Miss Ghost. I am guessing on the pronunciation. This voice, too, floats through your brain like a particularly shrill, intrusive thought. Nasty girl. Benavir. Do you realize how poncy you sound, lovely lady? This voice, 3, floats through your brain like mingling cigarette smoke and sweat musk. Those two have barely stopped bickering for 2 hours. Welcome to hell. Who are they? Who am I? Moi? You haven't heard of me? The circumstances of my arrival were somewhat convoluted. It may be wise to take a look around. It'd be better for you to piece it together for yourself so we can see if your brain actually works. Also, I need to know if you physically can look around, because I certainly can't. A shaft of sunlight pierces the ceiling. The stars have said goodbye. The new day looks down at your ruined bedroom. At your ruined you. I feel my chest. There's no heartbeat, only a faint throbbing where your heart used to be. Your fur is faintly crispy, your skin burnt, but somehow you appear to be unharmed, like a pebble thrown into a lake. The ripples remain, but the splash is gone. I live here now, resting snugly in a nest of pulverized muscle and splintered rib. It's comfy. Tap, tap, tap. Please, don't do that. It echoes. Nasty girl. Not claiming to be a Sawbones or anything, but shouldn't ghosts be, fucking dead or something? Not having a heart is meant to kill you, ain't it? See, Orb? I told you I was a ghost. Well, you aren't. Stop going on about it. A shaft of sunlight. Okay. Look around the bedroom. The bedroom is sparse. A typewriter that has more wear and tear than machine sits askew atop a wooden desk. In the corner there is a bed, unmade, faintly smelly. Probably very smelly, actually, given you can smell it from the other side of the room. This is not a room someone has lived in for a long time. It feels empty, out of practice at being a room. Look at the bookcase. A precarious, slightly singed bookcase. On the floor in front of it you can see the charred remains of the Lovely Lady Handbook. A memory stirs. The book details the traits of lovely ladies and nasty girls, and helps one decipher which archetype most fits themselves. It is short, little more than a pamphlet, for as very little substance. A hole has been punched right through it, leaving only the crisp, burnt smell of paper and the two little ladies torn from the pages and branded in your psyche by a clumsy space orb. Orb. Very easy. A success. You were halfway through organizing the bookcase when I arrived. This book, a present from a distant relative, was going on the do not read shelf. Somehow I must have passed through it and brought some passengers along for the ride. Riding? That's a lovely lady trait, isn't it, lovely lady? If one is referring to riding sheep, yes. Poppy had me learn vaulting when I was a little girl. It was quite exciting. A shaft of sunlight pierces the ceiling. The stars have said, okay, yeah, feel your face. It's all wrong. Is this really your face? It feels evil? Are you sure you didn't hit my face? My face feels like it's made of nightmares. It's a normal face. You look normal? You look fine, if a little common. You're a looker, ghost. You have the kind of eyes some dykes would kill to see cry. Sorta pathetic-like. Yeah? I love the dialogue. Is this my cottage? You stand up and almost fall down again, before eventually relegating, I can speak, yourself to just leaning against the wall and feeling slightly scrungily. It is. Honestly, this place is a tip. You expect me to live here? I ask again, do you people not know who I am? Who you are? You're a dumb archetype from a dumb book written by a fraud. You're just classism with extra steps. Ha! Get her ass! My comment applied equally to you, nasty girl. What the fuck? Fuck you. I thought we were bonding over a mutual love of bullying a lovely lady. Prick. We might have written about in a book, We might have been written about in a book, but it hardly makes us fictional. We're all birthed from the divine equal, equal in spirit, if not in hygiene at least. You were birthed by Penny Hazel Lovelace, failed fiction writer and known hack. I was birthed in a black hole left behind by a dying star. We are not the same. Imply that I'm shallow all you want, Orb. At the end of the day, only one of our swimming pools have a deep end. Mine. I have a swimming pool, by the way. Oh, she has a swimming pool, everyone. I withdraw all my remarks. Ghost, darling, ask me about my life and I'll show this villain that I'm more than just a pretty face. All right. Tell me about yourself, lovely lady. Tell you about myself? Oh my, how kind of you to ask. Goodness, well, where to start? I was born in North Taxhavenshire to my loving pappy and of course my dear sweet mummy. I grew up riding my sheep around the estate and being tutored by Angela's finest academics. Oh, and we had a stable girl called... I forget, but she was a rugged little thing. Not at all dissimilar to our own nasty girl, if a little less scabby. Anyway, I am well versed in many, many skills, including fencing, tea tasting, and the Frankish. Alors, ma chérie, as you now see, I am in reality very well rounded. I bet not in the chess department. Why? My turn. Ask me about me. All right, tell me about yourself, nasty girl. Me? I'm just a girl who was born on the wrong side of the Thames. About as wrong as one can get, it appears. You feel dizzy. These ladies are making your head spin. So, what is your pappy like? What is the Thames? So, are you to, make a hand gesture that implies these bitches are fucking? Question, is it theoretically possible to be a lovely girl or a nasty lady? So what is your pappy like, lovely lady? Oh, he's a wonderful man. I owe my pristine upbringing to him and his glue manufacturing empire. What is the Thames? The artery that feeds the nation. Brown, for sure. Smelly, too. But it has a regal aura to it. A story. How many millions have looked upon those waters before you? How many fuel their lives with its commerce, its majesty? For yes, even in those grim waters there lay diamonds. Indeed, sit ye for one day with the fishermen and the mudlarks and see what wonders they draw from the depths. Worn Italian coins, the faces of the emperors erased now by time, forgotten war relics, their duty never rewarded with a proper burial. Bridge crabs, their flesh sustaining us now as they've since time began. Pieces of lives long gone, lives that once sat where you sit now. Nasty girl can be surprisingly eloquent when she wants to, apparently. I've been writing a fucking book about it, haven't I? Have you? Yeah. Well, not quite. Nah, it's all stored in my brain till I learn how to spell, ain't it? Thames can be a good spot for a sneaky shag, too, if you know where to go. Ain't that right, lovely lady? Well, why would I know that? So, these bitches fucking? Certainly not! I have a thing called Standards Ghost. I would not sully myself laying with this beastly woman. Haven't yet, but anything's possible, isn't it? In it. Anything certainly is not possible. Besides, I'm saving myself for the stable girl. I didn't say that! Lovely lady is so into problematic class gaps figures. They all are, these hoity-toity rich types. And they call scallywags like me the perverts. No! Is it theoretically possible to be a lovely girl or a nasty lady? Huh? No, what the fuck are you on about? Fucking shit for brains. I shall hold my temper. She hit her head very hard when she was knocked out. This is delightful. It really is. The writing is superb. As imaginative as those backstories are, they aren't really true. Lovely lady and nasty girl, just a pair of two-dimensional, irritating character archetypes that have somehow wormed their way into your brain through the magic of whatever the fuck happened when I embedded myself in half of a self-help book into your heart. While I shan't argue that a slim figure is fashionable of late, I must continue to contest your accusations that I am two-dimensional, Orb. Yeah, fuck you, Orb. Insult me again and I'll fuck your dad. Ah! Orb, difficult failure. Fine. You're not two-dimensional. Lovely lady, can you name one trait you have that isn't listed in the Lovely Lady Handbook? The nerve of you, Orb! My loveliness is immutable. Within me there's not a drop of nasty, but that in no way makes me two-dimensional. Yeah, my nastiness is mutable too, you dumb bitch, Ghost. I didn't say anything! Shit, sorry. Getting a bit mixed up here. A section of roof tile falls from the cottage and falls to the damaged ceiling. Peels from the cottage and falls to the damaged ceiling, breaking on the floor with a smash. Ugh. Or, ugh! Oh, I wonder which one we'll pick. Ugh or ugh! Started quest. Lovely Lady RPG Quest 1.0. You must... Oh, it went too quick. Let's see if I can... I want to see my quests. You must not show hole. Your ceiling has a gaping hole in it. You should probably fix it before you catch your death of cold. Get a hammer. You don't own one. You're gay, but not in a butch way. Get some nails. Get a plank. Okay, sure, it doesn't really match the rest of your roof, but fuck it. And fix your ceiling. Yes, quite. The Sleepy Game Developer. Hi everyone, it's me, Poppy, creator of such games as Parsnip, The Testimony of Trixie Glimmer, Smith, and Madden NFL 2022. I just want to let you know that Lovely Lady RPG takes place over 4 days. You're living the first one now. Like all women, Ghost can only make a maximum of 6 actions per day. This is normal for women. I love the Nerat, which is the engine this is made in. Be careful, though. Some things can cause Ghost to spend additional actions to complete an objective. When Ghost uses all of her actions, she will go to bed. What a sleepy girl. Delightful. You can see which day you're on, how many actions you have left, and how much money Ghost is carrying here. You can use this to access system menus, where you can do exciting things like adjust volume sliders, press the exit button, etc. You can use this cute little button to access Ghost inventory, quest log, gamer achievements, and skills menu. You just received your first quest, so perhaps you should take a look at the log now, in case you've already gotten confused. You can use this button to toggle the autoplay on and off if you're tired of clicking the continue button. This button to fast forward the next wrote, if you hate me and want me to die. Whine, whine, whine. Perhaps only use this button in your speedruns? And the final button to view any older text. Oh, and by the way, you can press F11 to play in full screen, if you really want to. That's all for now. Have fun. I do love it when the developer pops in and just tells you, live, laugh, love. Or I guess I've laugh, love. I don't fuck with letters going over 2 lines. Sparse decor hangs from the walls, but it means nothing to you. Live, laugh, love. Tacky pre-war candle holders, dusty vases. You wouldn't have bought any of this crap, surely? Cardboard boxes are scattered about containing possessions that you can only assume you cherish. Either you have not lived here for long or you have some serious issues with your executive function. Well, I do. Nope, failed an orb. Check. Your empty wanderings that leave you yearning for a return to the womb, and so you head back upstairs into the bedroom. It's spitting outside now. Rainwater pools on the wooden floor, but in the absence of any emotional connection to the abode, there's no sense of urgency in fixing it. There's blood on the wall, yours, presumably. Orb made quite an impact. Your fur is clean, though, which is comforting. Seems Orb did an okay job at patching you back up. The bedroom has been less fortunate. Shards of... I don't know... King? Queen? Ching? China splintered wood and shreds of singed insulation carpet the floor. We should clean this place up, Ghost. Maybe it'll help you jog your memory. Maybe not. Either way, I think it'll be a good way to make sure your delicate, bony little body is still functioning properly, despite me being embedded in it. How are you feeling, by the way? Any better? Okay, I guess. I think I might have IBS, though. You'll be fine. Probably. Just power through it until you're feeling better. That's the Angelian spirit, right? Anglian? To be Anglian is to bear all the weight of creation. You're correct, Orb. Pip pip what ho, innit? The cottage creaks. It is in pain as you are. Perhaps giving it a tidy will make it feel better. Dust the debris off the floor before your feet get any splinters. Nasty girl. Very difficult. Lick the wallpaper until the blood comes out. Pick up the broken vase before you step on a shard and presumably die horribly from the resulting infection. Tidy up the desk. Peer through the wrecked ceiling and out into the world and have a look at your bookcase. Well, broken vase seems like a good thing to pick up first. You pick up the shards of the puzzle piece by piece and get to work. You are going to fix this vase. Or are you? It's pretty fucked. You aren't really supposed to fix vases when they're in 100 bits, right? That's when you just call it a day and buy a new one, isn't it? So a daunting lovely lady check to fix the broken vase, or just throw the pieces away. Nope, trash it goes. The ceramic tinkles and echoes as it hits the metal base of the kitchen bin, like shards of a ceramic falling into a metal bin. Oh, it's good. And then dust the debris before my feet get any splinters. You tidy up the floor. It's frustrating and painful work, picking up all the splinters one at a time. But you manage it eventually, with only several small wounds to show for it. Oh, failed an orb check again. Tidy up the desk. A typewriter. Askew, almost falling off the desk. Yours, probably. An old model. It was used during the war for secretary work. Produced en masse and sold off cheap when the nation stopped needing to keep tabs on how many shells the factories were churning out in a day. So it looks like Orb is kind of our knowledge base. It looks like when we succeed, they'll give us background information. So that's fun. I mean, being as they are kind of the Akashic records, or stop being able to afford to pay someone to do that, at least. The production line still rolls, but no one knows at what rate or to what end. All that matters is the boys in Naqui, I don't know that one, keep giving the factory a gangrenous thumbs up. Aside the typewriter, there are a few knocked over possessions. Empty medical packets, mostly. Let's peer through the wrecked ceiling and out into the world. Above you, the gray morning sky, stars barely visible behind dark clouds. Home. Will I ever return there? Fuck, this is awful. How do I stop feeling sad? A raindrop lands directly on your eyeball. You flinch and make a gay little sound. It is gray out. Autumn is coming to a close. It will be cold winter. Flinch and make a gay little sound is such a funny line. All the more reason to fix up this roof. You'll catch your death of cold sleeping in here. I do not think that we have a very strong immune system. I don't think we have a very strong anything. Brr! Well? I guess we'll try to lick the wallpaper. Because, oh, failure. Wow. It won't come out, no matter how hard you lick. The blood just stays there, taunting you. In fact, you seem to have actively made things worse for your wall. No longer bears the dramatic flair of a blood stain, but the gross unpleasantness of a blood smudge. You may also have rubbed all of your taste buds off. You give the wall a final lick to check. It tastes of wallpaper. That's good. Your tongue is safe for now. Orb. Who would have thought licking a bloodstain would not clean it? We're learning a lot today, aren't we? Weird, right? Usually a bit of deft tongue can get you anything. Oh, what a game. Let's look at our bookcase. Your bookcase is a little sparse. A few titles stand out. Some vague memory attached to them. Blood in the Snow, the 1507 Azure War, Manners for Girls, You're the Hero, Swamp Bastard Revenge game book. Oh, I want to play You're the Hero. Tramadol. Hey! We know Tramadol. I know Tramadol, at least. Guinevere Lafont's beret-wearing guidebook, and 7 Plants I Saw, an adventure story. I'm assuming that is a reference to Trauma Cutie. Strange. Only Tramadol and Guinevere Lafont's beret-wearing guidebook seem to hold any real sway in your heart these days. Both are in a noticeably newer condition than the others. There are a few gramophone records, alternative bop mostly, shredded by wooden splinters and shards of roof tile now completely pointless. So, that was a lot of work. The room still looks like a bomb went off, and it didn't even help me remember who I am. This pleading rat face is very good. It really did it? Sorry. To be born into tragedy too tired to close curtains. Mayhap one of your neighbors can shed some light on your identity. Shall we make our way outside? Step outside into our lovely Ladyverse. Would you like to save the game? Yes. I do like it when it just says, hey, would you like to save? Hello, it's me, Poppy. We got some good music. This is the map screen. Isn't it pretty? I think Mia did a very good job, don't you? Yes, let's all say very good job, Mia. Good job. Do you think Mia did a good job with the map screen art? Of course. Yes. Great. I'm glad we agree. Anyway, while it's a bit empty right now, the map screen will show you all the places ghosts can go to. Each is displayed with a cute little icon which you can click on to read a short description of what Ghost plans on getting up to there, as well as how many actions it will cost. You can always change your mind, so don't be afraid to click around and decide what you want to do without experiencing the terror of commitment. Additionally, when Ghost Cottage become available on the map, you can use it to access some additional actions, including the ability to waste time or go to sleep early, so make sure you check that out later. Okay, bye again. So, looks like we've got one place we can go to. A lone figure stands watch near your cottage. Mayhap they can introduce you to our lovely Ladyverse. Fairly sure we're not wearing clothes, so we'll see how this turns out. The rain has finally stopped. You emerge into a countryside lane. To the northwest, peeking over the rolling Anglian countryside, you can hear the spire of Blue Hills Cathedral. Turn the audio down a little bit in my ears, actually. To the southeast, a thick woodland that seems to stretch into the distance forever, though obviously it does not actually do this. Here, mere meters from your cottage, sheep munch on grass, oblivious, or perhaps ambivalent to your sudden appearance. Success. Sheep-based agriculture is demeaning and cruel. The beast should be free. But milk is so delicious. Nothing that makes more happy could be cruel. The quaint little field is ringed entirely by a fence. Bah! One small spot which is broken. Some conveniently ceiling hole-sized planks are linked against it. Got it. Guarded by a bony goat. I am just losing my ability to pronounce words. And this is why my streams are only about an hour long. I generally just end up like a puddle of incoherent garbage at the end. It would be cliche, rude even, to say that their eye patch is their defining feature. But it is. You should probably say hello. 'Tis only polite. Kinda hot, by which I mean they have an eye patch and look like they both hate and could kill you. Wink at them. Get their telegram address. We have been outside for less than a minute, nasty lady. Let's not get carried away following every little inane little desire incessant sex drive spits up. Just, please don't scare them off. They might be able to help us get our bearings, and God knows we need them. Approach the shepherd. Good morning. Do a gay little wave. Look, if the option is to do a gay little wave, let's do a gay little wave. The weapon. Tis. The weapon chews on some straw. They're a good half-foot taller than you, and seem to be composed entirely of sharp angles, an abstract painting in an all-too-muted palette. They're unassuming, and yet... we succeeded. A very difficult subject. Not far from your previous home was a beach. Not a nice one. One of those pebble ones that hurt your feet and make for poor sandcastles. A few years ago, you were walking along it just as the sun was rising, only to find a barn-sized ribcage washed up on a gray shore, every centimeter clad in barnacles and seaweed. It filled you with some primal fear, some great dread. This thing did not belong here. It belonged deep underwater, deep under millennia of rock with the rest of the long-dead Leviathan's corpse. The weapon doesn't belong here among the daffodils and sheep. They belong somewhere else, somewhere along mud and twisted metal and smoke. They stand in front of you like a bloodstain on a wedding dress. I assume you're loitering next to me because you want something. Lovely lady. I get the impression they don't want to talk to you. Or if they do, they'd rather it wasn't small talk. The weapon chews on their straw as if you weren't there. Why are you standing here? I'm a shepherd. 'Tis my job to stand here. I look after this flock. I gesture to the sheep, who continue to munch on their grass, distracted only by the occasional urge to go, bah! It is an urge you can relate to rather strongly. That fair? I keep them fed. I keep them safe. I milk them when they need milking. I shear them when they need shearing. And as last night, I make sure no one breaks their fence and lets them run out to the road to die. They squint for a moment, as if accusing you of breaking the fence. You didn't. It was broken during the night by a rival farmer, hoping for the sheep to stage a great escape. Her plan would have worked were it not so sheep... Ow. Her plan would have worked were not sheep so content to look at freedom as unnecessary. They have all the grass they could ever need right here. Nasty girl. I've broken my fair share of fences as a mercenary in the farm wars. Classic. Mercenary in the farm wars. Don't say anything strange or off-putting. No, I think we're going to say something strange and off-putting. No, I meant, why are you here? You should be somewhere among mud and twisted metal and smoke. What? I don't know why you thought it was a good idea to say that, but it wounded them, and deeply. Don't say things like that to them, or anyone. Just talk normally, please. You should apologize. Make an excuse. Be normal, please. I'm sorry, I was thinking about a poem. The weapon chews on the straw. Okay. Weird question, I know, but where are we? Where are we? The weapon thinks for a moment, the straw in their mouth growing ever closer to mush through their idle musings. I'll tell you where we are. We're in the time between catastrophes, the edge of our Armageddon, the minute before midnight, the moment before the horns sound and the walls crumble. Oceania has nearly perfected the bomb, and the Soviet Republic can't be far behind. We are all going to die. Goodness, it appears the painted visage of a completely unnecessary melodrama looms on the horizon. Anglia is dying, a slow death, a death through 1,000 dry wheezes, the kind of death that euthanasia exists to save the blighters in my field front. The nation has been superseded, for a new giant has taken up the mantle of empire. Who knew saying neutral during the Great War would be so highly profitable for the oceanic armament industry? The weapon spits and mutters something unpleasant under their breath. They're bitter about how they choked on gas and drowned in mud, while someone else choked on a fishbone and drowned in wine during all expenses paid dinner after successfully broking into the arms deal with any of the warring powers. They hate this vaguely defined imagined business person more than they hate anyone who sat in the opposing trench. The weapon gazes towards Blue Hills. A few smokestacks belch death into the air, vomiting from the overexertion of trying to win a contest that's already lost. A biplane circles overhead like a vulture. The sound of a distant automobile rattles through the air. The European powers had their time in the warm glow of the sun and claimed their reward. They chuckle. The chuckle, but I'm assuming it's they chuckle. And what a reward it was. Third-degree burns, tails burning away like fuses, molten flesh shedding from their bones, eyes melting from their sockets and seeping betwixt their chapped lips. We can only wish for the same grisly fate to meet our friends in the East. It is only right for those who take up the lance should also succumb to it, as ancient Sumer once did, as the Italian Empire once did, as Brandenburg once did, and yes, as we here do now. Oh, what was that filth about eyes for? Must the weapon insist on such visually descriptive prose? Fuck yeah, this bops. We should ask them to describe more gross things. Gods, please don't. I might throw up. Gross. That pops. Nod along like you're understanding literally anything the weapon is talking about. Sorry to interrupt, could you describe more gross things? I'm just gonna nod along. Anyway, where were you? You asked? Well, weapon pauses, stare off in the distance again. Didn't they already do that and then not answer your question? Before you can fully ponder this question, they continue. I get to think a lot in this line of work, you know. Lately I've been thinking about that festering wound in the center of the Soviet Republic. The super volcano, the heart of the dead zone, that is. Goodness, they're literally just rambling now. They're not even talking to you as much as they're just thinking out loud in your vicinity about absolutely nothing, with any bearing on your original question. This is what standing in a field all day does with no socialization. Yeah. This is what standing in a field all day with no socialization does for you, one supposes. The weapon chuckles to themselves. Dead zone is an apt description of an entire country, frankly. Certainly I wouldn't want to live in that battleground. The Civil War actually ended a while ago, but Western propaganda tends to exaggerate the conditions of the Republic. Gods, to think fucking Scovey came out of the Great War on top, unthinkable a decade ago. When we sat in the trenches, we joked together. At least we're not eating yellow snow and sharing rifles like a fucking Muscovite. Now look at them. The seams that hold this world together unraveling faster than we can sew them back up. Sorry, did you say Great War? What was that? I assume by the name it was a good time. Great, even. Or nod. Yes, the Great War. Terrible stuff. Not again for emphasis. You have no idea what you're on about, do you? It's a good job they're assuming you don't know this. It would be incredibly patronizing if not for the fact that you don't know this. Anyway, as I was saying, I think about the super volcano a lot, you know. The one that exploded and brought about the Dark Age. Still spews toxic miasma. It still spews toxic miasma across Siberia to this day, doesn't it? There is a surprising amount of setting detail in this game, and I love it. I am so here for this. There's been a few expeditions into it using clever technology, but none has ever gotten far into it. It's rather expansive, you know. It is exactly 832.41 miles across. The weapon smirks and snaps a chuckle. Some say the ancient city of the star gods sit in the center. Idiots. So yeah, a lot of the Lovecraftian elements from the previous game are just kind of sitting around in this one. Very easy, he says. They think they're smarter than those people. Rude. The city of the so-called star gods does sit in the center. Or did. It was atomized when the city's poorly maintained magmatic reactor exploded, which your foolish species has interpreted as a natural cause. Idiots. Orb thinks they're smarter than our species. Rude. Anyway, like I was saying, I think about it a lot. For now that our kind has stolen fire from the divine and harnessed the power of the atom, we have surpassed the brutal indifference in the natural world. It will be our hand that brings about the next dark age, that plunges us all into the depths of a greater, even deadlier dead zone. Oceania would rather see the world burn in nuclear fire than surrender itself to communism, and the Soviet Republic feels much the same about the free market. Orb, Oceania tests their first atom bomb in 1932, and the Soviet Republic in 1933. The Central African Corvid Commune tests one in 1937. King, Angalia, and Frankenich don't build any until the 40s. The Kingdom of Scandinavia builds one in the 90s, by accident, somehow. Do they ever use them on each other? No, they were only ever used recreationally. Using an atom bomb recreationally is very funny. Yes, I have no doubt that we will see the bombs fall in our lifetime. It seems unthinkable for most, but I know they could do it if they wanted to. Just as we unshackle ourselves from morality with mustard gas, our forebears with gunpowder, and our earliest ancestor with a very sharp rock or something. If I were one of these rival superpowers, I would simply give peace a chance. The weapon scoffs. Pah! Naivety of those who did not fight, who saw nothing of the teeth and the claws. The rival superpowers giving peace a chance. That's not going to happen. There'll be bloodshed in Korea, maybe Manchuria by the end of the decade. Mark my words. Almost true. The two powers fight a proxy war over Manchuria in the late 40s. The prediction is almost meaningless, though. The weapon throws so many ill-informed prophecies that one is about to be almost right eventually. Oh, it's so sexy how mad Orb gets when something other than Orb is right about something. Like lovely lady when you call her grubby. I am not! Squeak, squeak! Squeak, squeak. Oh, this is so good. Oh. Yeah, my voice is rapidly going. It's been about an hour. I'm gonna pop a save. Not with that button. Oops. Well, what I mean to say is that I'll replay that. That's not the right button I pressed. I'll replay that section before coming back next time. I would like to come back, let's say Thursday. I would like to make streaming more of a regular thing, but getting it started back up again, kind of a pain. But I will give notifications beforehand, and I'm going to have a great time playing this game. It's fantastic. I'm going to see everyone later. Thank you for stopping by.